So I'm making the countertop form for the countertop that's going to have the kitchen sink in it, and I am doing a layout here to make a knockout so the sink can, so there's a void in the countertop so the sink can fit into the countertop. So what I have here is my kitchen sink, and what I've done here, I have in the kitchen, I figured out exactly where from the end of the countertop I wanted the center of the sink to be, and that's what this line right here is. And then I've centered the sink on that line, and then I have measured exactly where the edges of my countertop are. That's what this line and this line are, and you can't see back here. And then I drew an outline of the sink around. And I also, if you come over here, and I also drew where the knockouts need to be for the faucet and the drinking water spout right there. So I'll take this off. I made a couple mistakes. That's why there's all these marks here. But you can see here that what I also did, the countertop is going to be really thin between here and the edge of the sink. And to prevent cracking, what I did was I made some patterns where I could thicken that. So what I did was see how there's this lip here. I'm able to actually pour the countertop all the way up to that lip, all the way across. So as you can see my line here. This is where I'm actually going to make my form void. This is where I'm actually going to make my form void right here, all the way across, and then up here. I'm not gonna make it all the way to here, so it's really thin. So I'm gonna have a little more meat to work with, and then over here I'm gonna have a lot of meat to work with to help prevent cracking. This. And these voids right here, I don't have to do anything special for because they're gonna be part of the big open space. But this one right over here for the drinking water spout, I need to do a knockout for that, so I'll put a piece of wood to make a void in the concrete countertop right here. So finishing up the form for the countertop with the sink in it, and we have to create a void in the pour. So I'm going to add blocking to the inside of this form here that the concrete will pour up to, but not be able to fill in an area, which will create a void, which will create the space where we can put the sink into the countertop. So this is the sink right here, and I've created a template. Well, I've created a block, a void maker, if you will, based on that sink, out of 4 inches of rigid foam insulation. I was able to just sculpt it. Felt that was the easiest way to do it. So we have the shape of this thing. This whole space here will be an open space in the countertop. So our 3 openings for our faucet are going to be part of this void, so we're not going to need to do any special knockouts for those. But up here for the drinking water spout, I had to kind of butt out here to accommodate for where that opening needs to be for that drinking water spout. I have also, if you come and take a look at the sink here, I've created it so that the opening starts, there'll be countertop all the way to here. I'm following this contour because there isn't a whole lot of meat here for the kitchen countertop to sit on, and it's getting pretty, it's pretty thin. I want to increase that as much as I possibly can by following the contour of the sink, and that's why the void, the form here is shaped the way it is. So I've already marked out where the sink is going to go. I have here, I have a couple different things drawn here. That's because I got a little confused, I messed up. But this is my shape right here. So I measured from the end of the cabinetry here to the center of my sink space, which was 54 inches. And then I pulled that measurement off of this side of the countertop to 54 inches on center. And that marks the center of the sink. Remember, this is up is the bottom, and the bottom of this form is the top of the countertop. So the whole countertop is going to get flipped over this way. That's why this 54-inch to center of sink measurement needs to get pulled off of this side of the countertop form. So I have that center mark here, and also I'm positioning my form like this, shaped like that, because the sink here, I'll show you. Come over here. The sink here, the drinking water spout is on the right side of the sink. So once this thing gets flipped over, the drinking water spout needs to be on the right side. So that is why the drinking water spout is on the left side over here, because when it gets flipped over, it will be on the right side. Seems simple, but when you're actually doing this, it's very easy to make mistakes. So these are important points. So I already have my marks laid out here where this thing's going to sit. In order to secure this to the form, I'm going to use the same caulk adhesive that I was using for the seams underneath this piece of insulation here, this block. And I'm just going to glue it essentially right down to the plexiglass. So take some of my caulk, and I will just make sure I'm using the right lines here. Making sure that I'm right on my marks, and I am. And push it down so it makes a good seal. Making sure it does not move off my marks. Alright, I put something heavy on it. So I just have this Viga end. And that will work just nice. Put a little more pressure to the ends. And now I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll be ready to pour this form.